Okay, so this is going to go over the recursion count 7 question, where we take in a number and count the number of sevens that are in it. And there's two things you're going to use here. Mod 10 will get you the last digit or the rightmost digit, and then dividing by 10 will chop off that digit. So just as an example, if I have 2, 7, let's say 5, 7 or something. Okay, so if we do mod 10, so if we take that number mod 10, that's the remainder when you divide by 10, which will be this 7 on the end. Okay, and so then you can, kind of check if it's a 7 or not, and then figure out what to do from there. And then if you want to check the 5 next, you basically take your number and update it. So you do this number, divide it by 10, right? And then your number will update to, it'll just do 0.7 here and then chop it off, right? So that'll get you just 275, and now you can mod 10 that, and that'll get you the 5. Okay, and then when you divide by 10, again, that's going to give you a decimal there, but then it'll truncate it to 27, and then we can do mod 10 again, and that'll give us a 7. And so you can see that this sort of allows you to go through the digits one at a time. So we're going this digit, this digit, this digit, that digit. Okay, and then your base case, you'll have to think through that, but when you sort of run out of digits, then you know you're done. Okay, so when you do this one, you've got to use like mod 10 and divide by 10. And I think the base case is going to be when you're num. So you'll kind of have two things you'll keep track of: your num, which represents the number you're on, which keeps getting truncated, and then your digit. Okay, and so when num gets to 0, that's going to be your base case. Okay, and at that point, the number, we've run out of digits, so we would just return. And you could think about this if you haven't already. If we've run out of digits, how many sevens are there? Well, that's just 0. Okay, so let's see if we can start to do the code. And again, one of the things I think students have trouble on these is they think you need a variable to like track how many sevens there are, right? But that's what you do if you were doing it with a loop. Okay, with recursion, we're going to make like a string of ones and zeros. So basically, if the digit is a 7, you add a 1 plus recall the method with the rest of the number. And then, from there, it'll take the next digit. And let's say that that's not a 7. So it'll be 0 plus count 7. And then your num will get truncated again. And then you'll call it again after that, right? So let's say the next one is a 7. So you'd add a 1, and then you'd count the 7s in the rest of the num. Okay, so basically, you're not going to have a sum variable because you're just going to make a string of 1 plus 0 plus 1, whatever. So basically, if it is a 7, that's a 1, and then you count the number of 7s in the remaining number, right? So you don't need a sum variable. All right, so let's take a look at the some of the code here. All right, so we've got our input n, that's our num. All right, and then basically we're going to do, let's do the base case first. So if n is equal to 0, then our number we don't have any more digits, and so we don't have any 7s. Our count of 7s there is 0. Okay, so if we still do have a digit, let's get that digit. So get the rightmost digit. And so we're going to do that by doing int digit equals n mod 10. That's going to be that digit. Okay, and then we're also going to need to truncate it. So we're going to update n, and so you could have n equals, but I'm actually just doing a new one. So I'm going to call it num, and I'm going to divide n by 10. So that each time it'll kind of truncate off that last digit, right? So then I'm going to do if digit equals 7, then that's a 1 in our count. So I'm going to return 1 for that 7, plus I'm going to count the 7s in the rest of the number, which is num, right? The rest of the number is n truncated, chopping off the rightmost digit. Okay, and then if it's not a 7, right, then I still want to recall the method, so it's like 0 plus count. I don't really need the 0 plus there, but just to kind of conceptually help me with it, I'm going to put it there. So it's 0 plus the count the 7s in the rest of the number. Okay, so that way, we'll build a string of a bunch of zeros or ones. Each time we hit a 7, you add a 1 to that string and then recall it with the number of 7s for the rest of the number. Okay, until we hit n of 0, right? Then we will have run out of digits to check and we'll be done. So let's give it a whirl here. Okay, it looks like everything is okay. So hopefully that helps. It's a good lead into the next one too. So hopefully you can get the next one on your own.